Yo guys, what is up? It is Teachers Game 2 coming at you again with another video, and I'm going to go ahead and show you right now. I've had a lot of questions like, what are you talking about? Mesh turrets, mesh gigas, all these things that you speak of. And this video is going to be determined to help you a little bit with defense. Now, where I am right now is actually inside of Oil Cave on Valguero. Just so you can see, there's my rock drake that I love riding around, super dark right there. Boom, outside, rock drake, Oil Cave. Doesn't matter where you are. But in order to defend Oil Cave, the one thing that a lot of people are worried about is people are going to be able to mesh through this area. Now, yes, meshing is an issue in Ark. It's a big issue. I understand that. There are a couple of ways that you can at least help. Does it fix it? No. This does not fix meshing. So when someone's like, ooh, I had turrets there, I put a Giga there, and it didn't help that much, well, that's unfortunate. There's a couple of things that you can do that'll help with this. One, Giga. Two, turrets. Now what you can do is actually pretty easy. Just take yourself a generator. You don't need a tech generator. I'm just using a tech generator because it makes sense for me. I'm going to split one of these guys off right now and activate the power on this guy. As you can see, right there, we got some power on it. Now what we're going to do, pretty easy actually, take your heavy turrets. I don't usually use tech turrets for this. You could if you really wanted to, but I don't, just to be totally honest with you. You put the turret as far as you can into the wall. See how it's like red right there? What you want to do is you want to find a couple of different spots in which it's barely sticking out of the wall. So that way when it lifts up, you'll see what I mean, like that, it's actually lifted inside of the wall. Now, because if you want to think about it this way to help, I guess, to assist you in thinking about this stuff, the mesh is literally called the mesh because it's just one tiny little layer. It's not like this big huge rock that you can't get through. Once you get through one side of it, you're kind of inside that area, and then until you leave that area, usually going back through that tiny layer, that's where you are. So this turret right here covers inside of that mesh, and I'll show you what I mean in a second with this Giga. Now, what we do, let me cough real quick. Oh my goodness, a little bit sick still, I apologize. Wow. All right, sorry about that, still a little bit sick, so getting over it. But usually what I'll do is I'll put 3 or 4 of these in areas that people are likely to try and mesh. Now another great example, if you can find corners and stuff like that, they work really well because they can cover maximum space. You can see this guy's pretty good inside of the wall. It's literally meant to be so that the shooting end of the turret will lock on, because that's they do by line of sight. You can see this is pretty far inside the mesh, so it will not cover you inside of your base though. That's what I'll tell you. As far as I'm aware and what I've seen when I've put these things in the mesh, and we've tested it, you can't expect these turrets that you put right inside this wall right here. You can't do this and it won't defend your base. They will only defend inside of that mesh area. At least the ones I have had didn't have a perfect line of sight, whatever you want to call it. But they will defend you inside of the mesh against people trying to mesh your base. Now usually I'll put, let's say 3-ish up there, and I'll leave it like right there. You can see I'm just trying to barely put it inside the wall, so it's like half sticking out. So this is a mesh turret. Pretty easy to do. There's nothing super difficult about it. You just literally put it half inside the wall, but just to show you guys how I do it. Now you could easily, typically you don't really need to worry about creatures, so you can literally just set it to only survivors and high, because you want to be able to hit them as far away as possible, obviously, and obviously that helps. Now one more thing you can do is actually pretty easy. A Giganosaurus or Giganotosaurus, whatever you want to call it, if you walk them into a wall just like this, what you're going to notice is actually something kind of neat. One, you can see I'm inside the mesh right now when I look at this camera. And two, you can see that he is actually half inside the mesh. Now he will also defend you from people inside of the mesh trying to, like, for example, because this is the floor beneath us, so you're pretty good for right there. But if they mesh into this wall that I am currently inside of, what the Giga will do is he will bite them, obviously, ending their process. Now, what you can do, the settings you should go for is really the only important thing with the Giga for this, because the Giganotosaurus is, well, one of the most dangerous creatures in Ark, especially if you have high melee on these things. That way, if someone manages to get a trike in there, or anything that's a little bit of a tank too, he will just munch on that. Now, what you can do is you can load these around your base into the walls, like you see here. And you can see he's literally inside the mesh. You can't, try and get him as far as you can in there. And what you're going to want to do is actually pretty easy. It won't let you be in there, which is kind of nice. He will be able to bite in there, but unfortunately, I don't believe he's going to be able to bite over there too. So what you can do, you want to encumber him because he does not have a turret mode like other dinos. You want to change his targeting range from highest, I guess to highest. And then what you want to do, this is kind of the weird next part. You want to make sure, oh, that's not what I wanted. Not ride, do not ride, not what I wanted. You're going to go over here and look at a couple other things. Following distance does not matter. You can have that on, does not matter. You want to ignore group whistles so you don't accidentally turn him off when you're working on that stuff. Disable ally looking does not matter. Mating obviously doesn't matter. Wandering, do not have that engaged. And then enable falling not on. You want to leave him on, not that. Where is, why don't I have my option right there? That's really upsetting. But anyways, you just want to whistle him to aggressive. And the point behind that, you can see he's aggressive right now, is anytime somebody goes inside of that mesh area, these two little techniques will help. Will, again, as I said earlier in the video, this does not fix meshing. People are very good at it. It's angering, it's frustrating because it's, it's not fair because most people play this game quite legitimately, and some people just decide to go inside the mesh. That's how it works. Anyways, you can see these are inside the wall to help cover. The Gigantosaurus are in there as well. You could use tech turrets. Again, they don't fire as fast, so they don't have line of sight that works that great. So you could if you really wanted to. They're kind of hard to get into the wall as well, as you can see right there. They're not very easy to get into that wall. They don't go really well. So that's why I don't typically use them, but that's up to you, obviously. I use heavy turrets when I'm defending the mesh, and then load these gigas up with maximum weight. That way they are literally stuck there. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to load this one up because this weight is very large, which is really unfortunate. So that's what you can do in order to help defend yourself against the mesh. I wish you the best of luck. Let me know if you have any other awesome tips for this, but this is something that we use unofficial, stuff like that. All right. Hopefully it helps. Teacher's Game 2, out.